And it's another show.
Hey,
I'm going to cut that off right there, Dave. I hope you don't mind.
no,
I know you like listening to my little jams, but
it was a smooth transition.
yeah. One of these days, we'll start doing a custom song,
Yeah,
a little custom ditty, a short
theme
little
song,
something.
Yeah. So, news, we're officially on iTunes now.
Well, this is very cool.
You can look up Half Cock Conversations, like, rate, and subscribe.
Cheers to that.
Yeah,
Cheers to you.
finally, it took me a while. We're
Hello
good to go,
again.
though. And on top of that, you people should, who's ever listening, all four of you, should start interacting on the Facebook page.
And how can they?
Look up Half Cock Conversations on Facebook.
Can they like, rate, and subscribe?
On Facebook? I don't know. Probably. I should know that.
I'm just reading my handed note. It says like, rate, and subscribe, and interact on Facebook.
Yeah, well, those were notes. What do you want? I just
okay.
bullet points.
I was given sheets
Yes.
when I walked in.
Typed
so
and printed.
This is very official.
Yeah.
I'm going to step up my game.
I'm producing.
I feel this is pretty good. Keep it to yourself, pal.
So, since we've last talked, I've had an issue with work. Not the one we previously talked about, but I work in a secured site where I park my car, and we have security guards. The gentleman at night likes to shake hands a lot. So he has to open up, I have to give my badge, he has to record my information. And I was trying to get out of it because he's got weird, clammy hands. And so he'd reach in the car after doing it, like very awkwardly reach into my car. So like every day I slowly would like raise the window up, and I wasn't trying to be rude, but I'd leave it like a little crack, and then he would just reach in, and then like so then my next move was, all right, let's try the fist bump, and he grabbed my fist.
There's something weird. There's just something weird going on. There's something weird with this
But
guy.
I have to interact with him to get out of the facility.
Yeah, I know, but you want to know what?
So we're done handshake. So I got fed up because, I come in, does the handshake, I go quickly, clean up, put my clothes on, and go to leave for the night. And there's the handshake. It's like, buddy, we just did this 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. What are you doing? So I got fed up. I closed the window to like a crack. And I talked, and I like pretending that I was on my phone, checking stuff and texting somebody. I'm texting my partner in the car behind me. I'm texting. The guy starts tapping on the window like a madman. It's like, okay, buddy, good night. I'm like, all right, good night, good night. He started sticking his fingers in the crack to try and shake my hand. Like, it was the craziest thing in the world.
This guy, is he on the spectrum? Does he have a little something?
Well, he's English isn't his first language. I don't want to be rude, but so it's difficult to tell.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. But there's obviously something wrong with this guy. He's got a handshake fetish. He's got this thing, but you don't have to be his friend.
No.
I deal with people all the time. And although if I was in the car, I would find it rude if the driver said, bro, get your hand out of my car.
Yeah,
Dude, what the fuck?
But I left the window cracked and talked to him. It was chilly out, too.
No,
So
I understand. But at some point, it wouldn't be inappropriate to say, dude, I'm not shaking hands.
Yeah.
I don't need a
Well,
big
I
interaction.
I wanted to get rid of. I didn't want the conflict, so I thought the fist bump. Then he just I'm showing you. He grabbed my fist and went like that.
How long's this all been going on?
Well, he's since been fired, but I think 2 days ago.
Wait a second.
But I was just saying I didn't know how to resolve, because if he didn't, I they didn't fire him. They fired the security company, I believe.
So the contract was not renewed.
Right.
It even sounds even better.
Yeah.
Nobody
I don't
lost
know.
a job.
I know he's just not there.
Well,
but
before all this, how long's this handshake conundrum
Oh,
been a thing on your plate?
like 3 months. He showed
Okay.
up.
You're already 3 months in.
Yeah.
You could have nipped this in the bud on day 2 when you realized this guy's got a handshake thing.
I shouldn't have did that, because it was freezing, and I opened the window all the way, and I shook the guy's hand. And the second day I was like, it's my. That's why I felt bad. It was my fault. Like, if I didn't want to be the handshake guy, I shouldn't have shook the guy's hand.
Does he do this with everybody, or does he
Yes.
think you're Mr. Handshake?
No, but
because
see,
of that first time.
I was talking to some other guys, and I'm like, I just never shook his hand, and after that, it wasn't a thing. I was like, and that's when I was like, oh, yeah, it's my bad. I opened the door. Now I trying to close that door, we're not shaking hands anymore.
The only way to do that
It's
is to cut
verbally.
it off.
Yeah.
A verbal confirmation. This isn't happening anymore.
Yeah,
It's
I
no
know.
offense. I'm not shaking your hand.
Yeah, come on, man.
You already lost me at the cold, clammy hand.
Yeah.
I shook a guy's hand yesterday, and he gave me like the dead fish. I just hate that. Not that I had a bad day, but I would have been better if I didn't go to offer this guy a handshake. And
well, the
get
guy
the dead fish.
offers you the 2 fingers and the thumb and does like that whole
like a dainty person.
I mean, my hands are pretty beat up. I'm like shaking a cinder block. I understand.
I get that a lot from Indians. I have no problem saying that. Indian fellows, little brown people. I try to be nice, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? How you been? And I go to give a handshake, and I just get like, this is it.
Yeah, it's like like slapping a wet piece of
You're
toilet paper.
Out of here. And sometimes I remember people. Yeah. I'll just give them the salute, or hey, how are you? On the way, just give them a little wave on the fly.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Then if I
usually give the salute and the avoidance, like the duck to the side.
Forget. Yeah. Sometimes I just forget. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be a good handshake.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, but I have to, and it's like I can't avoid him because he has to let me out of the, it was a nightmare. So I'm hoping this new guy doesn't shake hands. But now I know better not to initiate the first shake hand, cut it off at the pass.
So were your notes typed up before you realized his security company wasn't renewed?
No.
So you don't have a problem with the handshake.
Well, I don't know. I haven't met the new guy.
I'm sure you'll be okay.
I haven't been back to that facility.
He's gonna. This guy, he doesn't like to shake hands, but he blows people as they pass by. So you're gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to deal with random blowies.
Okay, a little strange, Never hurt anybody.
At least he's not gonna give you a dead fish handshake.
Oh, and another thing, we talked about the last show. The Alexa. Remember the Alexa argument about how it's broken?
Okay.
Yesterday in the news, Alexa and Fitbits can be used against you in court. Alexa can testify against you.
There should be none
in
of
Ohio, and I was like, "Yeah, done. We're done.
Bye. In the garbage. It's gone."
Yeah, some guy was like involved in arson, but like they used a combination of his Fitbit was connected to his Alexa, which all the devices. And the time of what was going on, I believe, like his heart rate went up. It could GPS track him. There was conversations recorded on the Alexa. Negative. No, thank you. We're done.
Yeah, done.
That's it. Now there's a what do they call that? A precedent set. That's it. The door's open. Like again, another door open right there. We can't close that back up.
Well, then what about our phones? Our phones are always listening. That's how people can easily use voice activated. But is anything being recorded on our phone that we don't know?
Yeah, but. That's a touchy issue. We can talk about that. We're going to talk about that later with the Mark Zuckerberg issue.
Look, in all honesty, if you're up to shenanigans, if you're up to no good, if you're plotting on who to dump in that hole you just dug in your backyard,
probably don't have your phone on you.
You should not have your phone on you.
Yeah.
The battery out.
You make your calls
from a burner phone.
You can take your battery out.
No.
Yeah, that was a big hook for those. Like it was like I could still swap batteries midway through the day on the Samsung. iPhone, no go.
No, I can't. Not on this one.
Yeah,
it's hermetically sealed.
See, but iPhone is pretty good about that. They won't give law enforcement the ability to if my phone locks, Apple won't let them unlock it. They have to get somebody. They have to pay somebody from the FBI, give them like 2 weeks, and they have to. That's like a huge expenditure, but they won't. Like Samsung's just like, all right, here you go. Boop, here's the master key.
Well, because Apple said, like, if we do it now, we'll always have to do it.
Yeah.
Like nobody will buy our phones. We'll go bankrupt.
As much as I don't like Apple, I do respect them.
That's pretty respectable.
Yeah. Even though I think there's now a company that is selling software for like $5,000 to unlock iPhones.
But it's only $5,000. You charge people to unlock iPhones.
But I think it's like like you said, there's no way around it. Just if you're that crazy about it, just grab a flip phone.
So speaking of past shows, you said we're now on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to upload our audio to our YouTube channel. Or I think we now have a YouTube channel, and I can't convert our audio into a movie, even if it's just
a black screen,
or a slideshow, whatever I feel like doing. I haven't figured out how to convert it yet.
Do you have like editing software? I just thought of that.
I had an app before I reset my phone. Now I can't find it. It was awesome.
I was gonna say, I think you could do that in like Apple Movies or whatever.
I'm an Android guy.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say I could take a look on the iPad and I could just upload the audio and then just put pictures. I mean, maybe I could do that. Well, I mean, if anybody's listening, they want to throw out a little hand when we upload this.
Yeah, I was just going to start Googling and put it on our Facebook page or my page. Like, who knows how to do this and how can I? Who refers a free app? And I'll have it by the end of the day. I just haven't done it since I tried 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I want to put us up on our YouTube channel, but not the entire show. I want to label it as episode 1 and the date, part 1. And what are we talking about? Part 2, what are we talking about? Mm-hmm. I'd rather break it down into 5, 10, even a 15-minute segment.
Yeah, not even the whole show. Maybe little teasers.
Right. And the key thing would be the keywords. Anything that's talked about in that, I will put as keywords so we can pop up in searches. How many times do we talk politics, the stock market, conspiracy theories?
Right.
And then as somebody does a Google search for this, you'll be like, half-cock conversations.
Yeah.
Who are these guys? Maybe we'll actually get a listen here and there on a 5, 10, 15-minute clip.
No, it's ingenious.
I don't know. And then we just refer everybody to the show. If you really like this and want to hear the whole show, who would want to listen to this whole show?
It's not bad.
No, I didn't say that. It's just, you're in for the whole show.
You are. Once you get invested, you get a little taste. You're going to stay for the whole show.
I would.
All right. So
I have to. Here, happy birthday. I think we missed your birthday one time and Christmas passed, and
there is a gift here.
This is for you. It's a little something. I wrapped it myself. I hope you like it.
Alrighty. Wow, look at that. It's an Elvis Costello t-shirt.
It is, sir. It is, sir.
That's from the first album, too.
I'll take your word for it.
That's the knock-kneed pose, yeah.
You're in, sir.
Thank you very much.
I checked with the wife. She told me what size to get. I asked if you had any color restrictions. She said no, so I thought baby blue would go with your eyes and your blonde hair. I hope you dig it.
I do.
Wear it well.
I will.
That's for my partner in crime.
Thank you very much.
My buddy. I'm not the world's biggest Elvis fan since all of the schooling you've given me, but I can pick out a T-shirt.
That is a cool T-shirt.
And I got a random reference. I was listening to another radio show, and I heard somebody say something about My Aim Is True, and I'm like, it's an Elvis reference, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the first album.
And then there was a name, Amelia or... Allison, My Aim Is True. And I'm like, that's an Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
I understand. Someone's making a reference. And then they referenced the reference. And I'm like, I was right.
There you go.
So, Dave, you rubbed off on me. Hey, wait a minute.
I rubbed one off.
I'm just going to clean this up. But, I'm picking up a few things here and there, despite what I thought about.
It's definitely not metal.
No, not at all.
But you can think of it as he's the godfather of punk.
Everyone's the godfather of something.
No, well, they were like around, like that's like, well, I guess more new wave, but not even new wave. I don't know maybe. I don't know. That first album is pretty, I would say, a precursor to punk.
I have nothing to
that would be like
to.
him, like Joe Jackson, those guys.
Yeah, Joe Jackson. I wouldn't call him punk.
Oh, really? I'm a man. I'm not saying they're punk. I'm saying like a precursor, like a new wave punk. They're like nerdy punk, kind of.
Nerdy, yes.
They're like what intelligent people would, oh, I listen to punk music.
Intellectuals.
Like, you listen to Cro-Max. No. I listen to Joe Jackson.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
It's appropriate. You can go to like the Guggenheim and listen to Joe Jackson,
So what do we have? Where are we?
Okay. Well, we got some catching up to do from last week's episode.
Legitimate catching up or scripted catching up?
Well, both. We have the last week we were talking about the Uber driver. I remember we spent a long time talking about the self-driving car.
Self-driving car.
Yeah.
There was another one.
Yeah. But I didn't realize how weird that story actually is.
Why? As opposed to...
Well, it was just somebody, like you said, there was a woman sitting in a car. She was supposed to be manning the wheel and then hit a cyclist. Okay. Well, right there, that statement, it's odd because it is still, it's tough to find whether or not it's a man or a woman or a transgender person. Nobody knows about it. Now, I'm not saying that's an issue, but it's just...
You mean the Uber driver?
Right.
Like, aside from the fact that she was in the car
before
when it hit somebody.
What struck... Well,
there's a whole other thing going on?
And the only reason it caught my eye is because from what I gathered, doing the little that I wrote here took me a while. It was digging. It was like a half-hour digging to find these little facts. So now, what I thought was so funny about it, this would be the most 2018 news headline ever: transgender self-driving. Well, I don't even know how you would say that. self-driving Uber watch person is transgender with prior record, hits homeless woman who stole bike.
Stolen bike.
That again, it's tough.
Homeless woman.
It's tough to find facts on it. That's why I was like, I get it. Uber's trying to make it go away, and they're just like, okay, and they paid the woman.
And here's Dave, the
but now
investigative journalist.
Okay, so in 2000. Rafael Vasquez.
This is the driver.
Was arrested because he attempted to rob his or her Blockbuster coworkers of $2,782.98, their deposit for the night. So in 2000, they were working at a Blockbuster. He was working at a Blockbuster. Served 4 years in prison. Now, upon release, I don't know if it was a deal to expunge the record or what, but changed name and possibly gender to something clever, Rafaela Vasquez. So that's now, I don't care, Uber hire, whatever, there's second chances. I don't care if they hired a chance. But that's just the most, everybody's glossing over that. Isn't that...
Are we supposed to even make mention? A woman in a self-driving Uber.
But the thing is, it's crazy.
Was behind the wheel when it was involved in a fatal accident.
But the police even said there was no chance she could have. Apparently, it was the most confusing intersection.
But why do we have to label her as a transgender woman? Isn't that what we're trying to get away from? She's a woman.
No, not a woman. No, there'd be transgender woman. It's different. You got to use the proper pronouns.
Pre-op or post-op?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Do you have to say she's a trans woman if she's post-op?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Okay, I'm just saying. It's just another clip that will go in our transgender compilation.
But I just thought it was hysterical that, but then every article you look at, it says him, and then or 50-50. You got him or her, or the woman driver or the male driver, or
I actually knew nothing about any of this until you brought it to my attention.
It's actually I don't want to say I'm getting all conspiracy, but it's obvious they're just trying to make the story go away.
Right.
So any details proving anything, it's very. Okay, it happened. Bye-bye. Move on. Bye-bye. We have too much invested in this story. Go away. There's tons of money being made on these cars. We don't need this situation with two rejects. But apparently, it was the most confusing intersection in Arizona. I saw a picture of it. It actually does seem kind of weird, especially that late at night.
So now, what about? There was another incident since this one.
I don't know.
Another self-driving car.
Really?
I believe just drove into a brick wall.
Really?
Made no attempt to not hit the brick wall. It was the only thing in its way was a big brick wall.
Was it an Uber or was it
no.
one of the many other?
Oh, it was another name brand here, insert here, self-driving car.
Really?
Yeah. I know nothing about it.
So there wasn't avoiding something, hitting a dog or something?
No, I have no idea what the hell the story is. I was hoping I would just be like, hey, and did you hear it happened again? And you would be like, oh, yeah, the blah, blah car from blah, blah, blah. No, here's what happened.
No, I got sucked down a hole. I saw that discrepancy, and I was like, wait a minute, that's funny. I was like, why? And I was like, the headline.
You were burning the midnight oil, doing some investigative reporting on the status of a possible transgender.
This caught my eye last week. I was driving to work, and I heard something, and it was one story. Somebody said they referred to the driver as a male, and one other reporter referred to it as a woman, and I was like,
I had never heard the male perspective of this, or the male.
Yeah, because you got Rafael Vasquez and Rafaela Vasquez, but legally that's his or her story. They were in jail from 2000 to 2005, I believe.
I'm hearing it now for the first time.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was something silly. I thought we talked about it last week, and it probably is the most 2018 story possibly. Self-driving cars, trannies.
Okay, I apologize. I'm doing a little on-the-fly research.
Right.
It did happen. Tesla. March 30th, 2018, so just a week ago.
Okay.
Tesla's autopilot feature was on as the car was involved in a deadly crash.
Yeah, see, that's not technically self-driving.
What's the autopilot feature?
You still have to be, it doesn't, the steering wheel doesn't disappear and just goes.
No, of course not.
Well, no, Volvo's prototype, that's what it does. The seat comes back, it falls down, and a screen pops up.
But is the autopilot a self-driving
car
feature?
It's just I think Volkswagen, some higher-end Golfs have it too, where so now you merge onto an expressway or a freeway, and you get in your lane, you hit autopilot, and you can kind of check out, but not really. You still have to have your hands on the wheel, but you can, you can hit the blinker, and then if you want to move left, it'll move left when it's supposed to. But you still have to be there and be cognizant of what you're doing.
All right.
Because now their long-term plan is Tesla is going to use the information from these drivers that are using it on a day-to-day basis to kind of map the areas and create computer models. So now you have like an off-ramp in LA that is constantly being used by Tesla drivers. Now they're tracking the GPS on these cars to create the best line for that car to move. So on top of all the sensors, when it eventually does go to driverless, it'll have the best like when you're racing, when you take like race car drivers turn corners, they look for the best lines. That's what they call it. So now that's what this information from all these autopilots are, kind of gathering. Does that make sense?
Except for this one. It's going to gather all of the information about this deadly crash.
Yeah, did you see that thing? There's somebody like some Banksy type wannabe painted like the tunnel and then put like the Roadrunner on the side and did it like almost perfect, and somebody drove right into it.
No, come on. Yeah. You got to be a real idiot to fall for that, though, don't you?
I guess. Unless somebody had a couple pops in them and,
A couple of pops.
was given mouth to mouth to a bottle of scotch for a half hour and then went for a ride.
All right, so
other?
There's more notes on this, though. Now, the cyclist that was hit.
Yeah. Well, her family
got a settlement for an undisclosed amount.
Yeah, just to make it go.
From who? Uber?
Uber, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just make it go away.
Well, what else are they supposed to do?
I don't know. They didn't go to court, didn't go anything. They just showed up, gave her money, and then bounced and said, "We're done."
Settlement out of court.
Yeah, I'm sure they were happy. Apparently, that's what I'm saying. It's another thing where there's no real.
Said this person was homeless.
There was that's what I'm saying. It was a weird.
What kind of settlement you think this could have been? $100 and
but apparently
crack pipe.
Some articles I read said she was estranged.
$40 and a 16-pack.
Maybe. Well, no, her family apparently was she was estranged from her family. So so even the fact that her family came forward, kind of weird. Maybe a money grab. I'm just saying, we were talking about it last week, and I wanted to hit on it again because it's turning out to be a little bit of a weird story. There's a lot of what? Was it a dude? Was it a girl? Well, it depends on what article you read. Was the woman homeless? Well, it depends on what article. She was. Some say she was estranged from her family. She was crazy. Some say she was a drug addict. It's very. I can't get away from it. I'm like, why? What are all these?
Well, thank God we have you, Dave. Nothing slips past.
I know. Next thing you know, I'm going to be in a straitjacket screaming about
the conspiracy theorist himself.
And these kids, March for Our Lives kids. I see you were getting angry about that too. I don't think it bothered you at first, but now you're contemplating moving to Sweden.
There's mixed reviews. I have mixed emotions, and then I post something stupid on Facebook, something stupid. It showed up on my feed, so I shared it. I'm like, haha, yeah, fuck these kids.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, my opinion never mattered, and now everyone has a platform. So I am of the generation where I will talk down on these kids, whatever. I chose to break balls.
Kids who are snorting condoms.
Yeah, exactly. Eating Tide Pods. Something as silly as in our generation or whatever, this generation's afraid of gunfire, and then blah blah blah. 18-year-olds who were drafted, and obviously it was shots of Nam. So I shared the opinion of somebody at least 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
But then there's a couple of real sensitive people who want to comment. Those people chose to fight. Those people enlisted. These are kids in school. This isn't an environment for shooting. And I'm like,
wasn't there the draft?
I just wanted to share something and just put something out there without people really getting sensitive. I don't have time for your sensitivity.
You can't do that.
And then I think about these people. Why do you have anything to say to me? Now, I don't want to associate with you.
Well, you put it out there.
You obviously don't get me. You know me as being a loudmouth. I'm being a loudmouth on social media, and now you want to like knock me down a peg. Like, well, cut it out. Don't you know I'm arbitrarily, aimlessly sharing something just to call this generation a bunch of pussies? No. Cut it out.
There's a lot of work has to go into that. See, I can post something like that and nobody will do it because everybody's tired of my shenanigans. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you put it out there, somebody's going to shit on it. That's what it is. That's the world now. You just have to deal with shit. But I don't know. I don't recall seeing it.
Wait. I heard school was closed. Remember we were talking about how does this kid have the ability to go to all of these marches? Why isn't he in school?
Mm-hmm.
Easter break.
Easter break's a week.
Well, I was told that's why he was doing what he did a week ago. It was Easter break, and he made a point to go to a bunch of places as he had no academic responsibility. Now, if he's still here, there, and everywhere and showing up
I can say
instead
that
of being in school, that's another story. But I was actually told, it's Easter break, your point's not valid. So I'm like, oh, okay.
No, because in the interview on CNN, he specifically said, I have a math test this Friday. But me and my teacher just worked it out, and I said, I got more important things to do.
Oh, good. So there you go. So fuck him.
I'm sure.
Oh, you said it, Dave. Yeah, fuck this guy. He's playing hooky. Where's the truant officer? He's guilty of truancy, and I don't think he should graduate.
Well, he's not getting accepted to college.
Did we talk about that last week?
I don't believe so. That whole war.
That has been since. I think he got turned down from 4 different schools.
In California, of all places, yeah.
And just because he didn't make the grade, or because they said, look, we don't want you and your media circus on campus. We have enough things going on with safe spaces and crybabies here. Like, you're already in the public eye.
Oh, I don't know.
Or did he just like not do good on his SATs? I heard maybe he had less than desirable SAT scores.
Yeah,
he's a mediocre student at best.
Probably.
And he couldn't get into state college.
Well, it wasn't his state though.
He wanted to go out of state.
Yeah, he's in Florida, but I think they were all UC schools.
California?
Yeah, like UC Poly, UC Santa Barbara. Like they were all like California. I don't know.
Are they political? Or are they schools that will help his political career? Since he's become this spokesperson,
I believe
Didn't they say like now he announced that he is looking for a political career? He wants to do something in politics.
I believe so. Yeah.
Would going to a UC school help this?
Because
he had to have applied to these schools.
Yeah, anywhere in
sometime
California.
In the past year. Only now is he being a quote unquote student activist.
Yeah. I would venture to guess that anywhere in California would be.
Why did he want to go to California?
Because they kind of friendly to his cause.
You should spend your investigative time figuring that out.
No, because that's where he's probably most welcome.
There's a cousin or a stepfather or a stepmother.
He he lived in California.
Oh, okay.
Before that's where the whole crisis thing came from, because something happened in California and he was on the news for it. It was a tragedy, and he was in the news in California. And then his family moved to Florida, and a couple of years later, he's in the middle of this. People are like, crisis actor.
I remember him from the footage of something 2 years ago.
They did. That was the thing. It popped up. There was
that's hilarious.
Because I think his dad works for the FBI and his mom works for CNN. That's why it was like, hold on, this kid. Plus that kid. Look at that kid, though. I mean, he's annoying as hell, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't that focused on anything at 17.
At 17, I just wanted to...
bang chicks, touch boobs, and I wanted to play drums.
Play bass, listen to Kiss, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
That's really all it was. Green Day.
Green Day?
Yeah.
Green Day.
I was 17, that's my 11th grade, 1993, 94.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's right, you're old, yeah.
Ha ha ha. And late to the game on a lot of things, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those kids are now getting angry about the clear backpacks, which I find hysterical.
That's what you guys wanted action, and the school said, you're right, we will make sure this never happens again.
So did you see all the dudes like in high school filling it with tampons, making a statement? I don't know what that statement's about.
Who's got money for that?
I don't know.
I could think of spending my money on a lot of other things.
Than tampons.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Dildos.
Now
put dildos in my backpack just to make a statement. Why can't I have this?
Now, in the same vein of this argument, there's the new the new shooter.
Oh, the female.
Yes.
Come on, she's crazy, right?
I think she was just bonkers, right?
Batshit crazy?
Yeah. I remember I was watching it happen. Like, it was the news, like things were popping up, and it was like woman, jilted boyfriend. Like she would try to kill her boyfriend, and then it was like, woman shooting up you, and I was like, that's crazy. Just like it. But apparently, it wasn't her boyfriend. She was just mad because they demonetized all her videos.
But not just her. Didn't YouTube demonetize all videos?
With less than 10,000 views, yeah.
And if you post a video, then you want the regular monetizing protocol in place, you have to make a special request. Did she just not get word?
No, she had been doing it for so long, and then they just axed her. Like, demonetized all her videos.
Okay, but still, isn't YouTube allowed to say, everyone's not going to make money posting shit here?
Right.
What's wrong with that?
Well,
I have videos. I didn't even know I could get them monetized. Do you see me complaining?
Well, I think you need like more than 10,000 views like on videos. I think I think there was a protocol. But yeah, no, she just showed up and started. She had a handgun too. I think she didn't even do it right.
What? She didn't have one of the.
No, it's in California.
One of the banned.
You can't
semi-automatic.
Yeah.
Rifles?
No, and the cops found her sleeping like 500 miles from her house or something like that.
I heard her dad
turned her like
called the cops or something.
Bad's about to happen.
Something's wrong with her. She's very agitated, and they found her sleeping in her car. She's like,
no,
I'm sleeping. I'm tired. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And they let her go because she wasn't suspicious. Lady sleeping in her car.
Yeah. What's her name? Nasim Aghdam.
I don't know.
She was a vegan bodybuilder.
Wow.
I watched some of the videos. I
don't know that she was a bodybuilder.
Well, that's what she claims to be.
I believe a video of her doing the bicycle on the floor was deemed age inappropriate.
Yes.
It was racy.
Yeah.
Was she sporting a giant camel toe or
maybe, but maybe not on purpose.
Was she doing this naked?
No, she wore like sports bras and weird stuff. It was all stuff she does in front of a green screen. It's really weird. She had one that was like the risks of anal sex. Because some of her stuff's still on her website, I believe.
Huh.
But yeah, the whole thing was weird. I think we could just chalk it up to
batshit crazy.
Yeah,
I do believe she was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw a couple of videos. I heard the way she talks and the way she presents what she has to say. It just sounds like someone who's missing a few marbles.
And she wasn't Muslim.
No.
She
was something. No.
Yeah, you can see her right there.
What?
I want to see you figure that one out.
Not actually a Muslim, but in fact a member of the Baha'i religion, which is
it's its own religion. It's like if you kind of took a little bit from everything and put it together.
But where's she from?
California. Oh, she's Iranian.
Oh, there you go.
What? Right? Yeah, right. I think. I didn't think that was important because she's
Nasim Aghdam.
Yeah, another famous member of the Baha'i religion, Rainn Wilson from The Office, plays Dwight.
Of this religion? Mm-hmm. I had no idea.
Yeah, I think the religion's severely persecuted in most other countries too.
I thought he was more woke than to identify as a religion.
I don't think you could be more woke than the Baha'i religion.
Oh, so that's the...
Yeah.
He is woke.
Yeah.
He's so woke, he's Baha'i.
Yes, he's Baha'i.
I'm just so whatever.
I don't believe there's anything... It's a peaceful religion, I believe. I would... from what I gather of it, it's a very peaceful.
Oh yeah, she was at peace when she walked in there and shot people
I think
in
it's
the
just
headquarters.
Maybe she was.
She seemed at peace when she took the demonetizing of not just her channel, all YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Personally, she took it to heart.
Right.
She loaded a gun because of it.
Yes.
And went into YouTube headquarters.
Maybe it was just that time of the month.
That's just offensive to women all over the place.
I mean, but still.
If anybody listened, we'd hear about it.
But still.
But obviously, our 4 downloaders, they're men.
Yeah, probably.
I had to censor a post on our Facebook page after a particular female that I know who obviously follows our Facebook posts had words to say about something that I shared and my commentary on it. And I said, oh, I didn't know she followed us closely. Wonder if she listens. So, yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, wow, so we do have listeners. All right.
Yeah. Add her. She's one more. She does not like the things that I have to say or the things that I share. And I actually went to edit something.
You edited something.
I did.
Oh, well.
I explained the edit in there. So I think the post is still there. The link is still there to whatever quote-unquote chauvinistic thing I was preaching.
Oh, is this the thing I posted about the how to please your
I think we both posted the same thing, and I put my own spin on my editorial on it, and it was not favored by a certain somebody.
Well, women, you know.
Anyway.
Speaking of women, well, we'll move on to things that are happening now. You got anything?
Oh, wait, current? Are we doing current events?
Yeah.
Current
this
events.
Is very stiff. Maybe I shouldn't organize these so.
Oh, I like it though. Hey, wait a minute. It's the first list show, a la Dave.
No, these aren't lists.
Dave's list.
There's no numbers.
No, but it is segmented. There's categories. There's bullet points, if you will. Oh.
We don't even have to talk about all these things.
I know what time it is.
What time is it?
Time to come back from a break that maybe nobody knew we just took.
Until you did that.
Well, I'll tell you what we just did.
We got drinks.
Sure we did. Of course.
Exactly.
And then we started talking like idiots off mic.
Arguing about zombie raccoons in Ohio. Youngstown, Ohio.
Well, I asked you the question, what was the story all about? And, well, now that I know, you told me that there's not zombies, obviously, but they were foaming at the mouth.
Yes.
And they were walking on their hind legs, tapping on people's like glass and sliding
walking
glass
around,
doors, and they were walking around. So the news gave the story that zombie raccoons are walking around Youngstown, Ohio, which isn't...
Rabies. It's rabies.
Hearing zombie raccoons kind of makes it sound silly. The real threat is rabid raccoons are approaching people's houses, tapping on the glass, walking on their hind legs.
Yeah.
I would rather hear the news tell me the truth, that the threat of rabies is running rampant in my town of Youngstown, Ohio. Yeah. Not that, zombie raccoons are on the loose. Like, what is this? Is it a kid's game? Is that some movie I don't know about?
Oh, actually, sorry. It's distemper. I just did that.
What are you saying? They have a bad temper? They're pissed off?
No, it's a disease. Like dogs get that. It's like rabies almost, but it's a viral disease. Yeah.
Distemper.
Distemper. Yeah.
Okay, but still, I mean, to call it zombie raccoons.
Because when they tested one of the carcasses, it didn't show positive for rabies.
Oh, it wasn't rabies.
It was distemper.
All right, so it's a sick animal.
So the update, yeah.
All right. On the fly, live updates. You heard it here, folks. Distemper.
I mean,
still, I just think the news is.
What would you think if you saw a bunch of raccoons walking around like that? Would you? Oh shit, it's rabies. Really?
Well, obviously, foaming at the mouth. The first thing you would say is rabies. Either way, you'd stay away from it, right?
Yes.
That's all we need the news to say is stay away
with a baseball bat or something
from these crazy animals. Don't label it a zombie raccoon.
Now, if you get that
it makes
mouth,
it sound like a sci-fi adventure. Makes it sound false.
Okay, but if you get that mouth foam on you, you get rabies, or they have to bite you.
I think you have to be bit.
So it has to enter your bloodstream.
Oh, so actually, wait, zombie rules apply.
Yeah, you have to be bit. So it could. That's what I'm saying. Like,
traditional zombie.
I'm not going to let this one go.
No, that's fine. I really had nothing to go on.
But that is, you can't like.
I want to just throw a knife at the.
They can't spit their foam at you and give you rabies. You have to be bit. What if a zombie raccoon spit in your mouth? I don't know how you'd be in that position, but what if it did?
What zombie rules are we following? Zombie Land?
No.
Fear the Walking Dead?
Rabies.
I have no idea.
You don't think a zombie raccoon could spit rabies in your mouth?
I think you have to be bit by a rabid animal to get rabies.
And it's just
because what's the foam? All the foam is the animal's salivary gland like overreacting and freaking out. All you're doing is getting some saliva, an overproduction of saliva. That paste that my old science teacher had back in the day. Never understood why she always had like caked on spit in the corner of her mouth. Only like a decade later to find out that that's a symptom, that's a byproduct of being on antidepressants or psych medicines. And I'm like, yeah, I could see her being on psych medicines. Yeah, she was probably crazy out of her skull. Random story, all right? She's my biology teacher at the time, all right? 11th grade, 10th or 11th grade, high school biology.
Okay.
And we're talking about like cell production. I believe the example was the egg. All of the components of the egg, the yolk, the this, the that. I don't remember all of the terms. And myself and a couple of other people, we raised our hand. We had a question like, well, you just gave us all of the parts of this egg. What's that one little thick piece that never really wants to like separate from the shell? Like it's that real thick, stringy piece. She had no idea what we were asking her.
Skin under the shell, like this.
No, not even the skin, but like if you cracked an egg, you're gonna have the egg whites, you're gonna have the yolk, and then you're gonna have like this load in the egg white that looks like it's a separate component. It's almost like its own little thing. And three of us, I remember being in class, three of us tried to ask her, like, why don't you know what we're talking about? Like, do I have to bring in an egg and crack it and point it to you?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, these are all of the parts of the egg, and what you're describing doesn't make sense. And we're all like, have you not cracked an egg and had this happen?
I eat tons of eggs. I don't know what you're talking about.
Next time you crack an egg, look for the load in the egg white.
In the egg white.
Yeah.
So do it into like a clear, like a white bowl, and just start.
You can't miss it. Next time you crack it and just pour it out, you'll be like, oh shit, there it is.
There's the white load, yeah.
You know, or it almost looks like air bubbles in the egg white, but it's not.
Really?
It's its own little, like, thing.
I've never seen that before.
Well, now you'll look out for it, too. We'll
I
talk
will.
next time.
Okay.
This was random. I don't know. How did we get here?
Antidepressants.
My science teacher, rabbit. Oh, yeah. The raccoons, yeah.
The raccoon mouth spray.
I got nothing else on this story. I don't really know. No, I don't like that they called it zombie raccoons. Now, did you call it zombie raccoons?
No, you can look it up. Just type zombie raccoons; it'll pop right up.
Yeah,
they were ransacking Youngstown, Ohio.
I think the story in itself was
just
sick,
utter
animals.
sensationalism.
Yeah, that's exactly. I didn't want to say fake news because it's not fake news.
No, it's just
fake headline.
Sensationalism.
It's a fake headline to a real story.
That's some real like Hearst. Citizen Kane type bullshit right there. That's what you're saying.
I'm just not a fan of it. Just tell the news for what it is.
Now, you and I are at odds at something, too. We're at this Conor McGregor fracas.
Who's at odds with what? What do you mean?
You think what I gather is you think he was on the wrong side of he shouldn't have done it.
Are you about to defend the guy?
Yeah.
For what?
It's nonsense. You deal with people who fight for a living, right?
Okay, hold on, though. All right, so you're saying he fights for a living. Mm-hmm. He's an uncaged animal. We know it.
Yes.
So he broke a couple of windows on a coach bus.
Big whoop. High ratings.
All right, I understand.
So I was saying, you can't be a woman and date a boxer. You can't date Mike Tyson and when he punches you, be like, I don't know where this came from. Come on, really? Like, you date a boxer, you're going to get hit.
This is Robert J. of the Half Cock Conversation Show saying that I do not agree with, nor do I share my partner Dave's opinion on what he just said about women getting punched because they're in a relationship with a professional fighter. I don't know what he's saying.
So wait. So you think you're a woman? You go to a club and hang out with like a drunk Mike Tyson at his prime, and he's out partying, doing blow. Like, you should kind of come on.
No, I don't even know how to react to what you're telling me right now.
Really?
You're only on your second Guinness. You're not pulling my leg for shock value.
No.
But I know you as a person.
If somebody if a guy gave me the keys to the car, right?
You're going to drive the car.
No. And I looked at that car and I was like, okay, you got one brake on the front left side and one brake on the back right side. And I look in and I see a couple crates. And then I like flip up the hood and you got like a 350, like, with a supercharger on. And I'm like, okay, I might still do that. But when it goes south and everything explodes and I smack into a telephone pole, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, why did this happen?
How did we get here again?
It's because I said when fighters act violent,
you're being dead serious. You're like, look, he's an uncaged animal. Yes. What did we expect?
Right.
All right. How about we'll go with what we know. Mm-hmm. The aftermath.
Right. 2
people because of broken glass. Mm-hmm. They were supposed to fight tonight. That's actually tonight. UFC 223.
Yeah.
Tonight.
They replaced a guy with Max Holloway. Yeah.
Again, it's the nature of our show. I know enough about it to talk, but I don't know the names. Mm-hmm. One name, somebody in McGregor's camp, one of his trainers, was supposed to fight. I think he was the first fight tonight.
Right.
They said, you're out just because you're in McGregor's camp. McGregor is so in the wrong that you being with him now, you're one of his trainers, you're not fighting tonight. So that's one fight.
Mm-hmm.
McGregor threw a number of things through a couple of windows, broke 2 windows.
No, he only broke one.
Well, he
threw a dolly.
He cracked the windshield.
No, that was the other guy.
Broke the side window.
That was the other guy.
His trainer?
No, like one of his entourage, guy Lobov, or Lobov, or I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, him.
Yeah,
that's
he
one
threw
of his
a chair.
He was supposed to fight. He's the first card tonight.
He was.
He's not fighting. Okay, so that's that story. That's him.
Yeah, McGregor just threw a dolly. Yeah.
All right, so he threw the dolly, and by throwing the dolly, that shattered the window. Glass broke, got in one fighter's eye. He had glass embedded in his eye. He had a shard of glass. Even if it's a microscopic splinter, the word was multiple cornea abrasions.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not fighting. The other guy who, if all he had was a cut, he had a cut on his face. Well, you can't be actively bleeding from an open face wound the day before you're going to fight in UFC 223. He got canceled.
Right.
So that's 3 fights on tonight's card where they had to replace or cancel the bout. And that might seem like nothing to, like, oh, who cares? So what? There's going to be a fight. I'm talking about Vegas. What about the odds? Professional gambling. Legal gambling.
Well, no, the card, they switched the card around. The card's still there. And actually, since yesterday,
but I
people
think
bought more tickets.
But people already laid their bets.
Come on.
This was a big thing for the bookies and legal and illegal gambling. Like this is a real.
So you're concerned about the degenerates.
Craw in their side. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Like I could understand why.
But actually, they sold more pay-per-view.
Sports betting.
UFC has sold more
affected.
Pay-per-views since yesterday's actions.
Which is surprising because McGregor wasn't supposed to fight tonight, was he?
He wasn't even supposed to be at the Barclays Center. He showed up unannounced. Somebody let him in just because he's Conor McGregor.
I heard who let him in was like the website for his, like, what do they call it? Like where you're like you're cool and we know you're cool and we're going to put you on the website doing cool things. Lifestyle. A lifestyle website.
Okay.
They let him in.
Yeah.
He didn't. It was rumored that he had press credentials or press credentials.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That's only the second drink. I shouldn't be slurring and.
That's a tough word to say.
Missing shit up.
Yep.
Press credentials. Press credentials.
Press credentials. Yeah, that's tough.
But it was rumored he had press credentials, and then it turned out no. It's some lifestyle website. Let him in. They opened up the door, and this is what he did. He wasn't even supposed to be there. Dana White fought hard to get UFC in New York. People already forget for the longest time there was no UFC in New York. Now it's here. It's at the Barclays Center, and this is what one of their most famous.
They were just at MSG. It's been here for a while. And
No,
it had
no,
nothing
no,
to do
of
with
course.
violence. It was nothing to do with violence that got kept it out.
What do you mean?
It was with the culinary union. It was like the Teamsters and because UFC doesn't use union workers. It's convoluted, but they wanted so much money from, I think at the time it was Zuffa, that's the company that owned UFC, and they just kept saying they would let them do it. It was just the amount of money that it would take to put on a fight that they were like, it's not worth it for us. We can go to every other state in the world. And it only recently happened when they were like, all right, New York started losing out on money because could you imagine like McGregor fought in MSG, like that was huge. New York made tons of money off that. They were kind of like. They were biting the nose off to spite their face. They were charging UFC so much money, all the unions.
I love talking to you because you always bring something completely out of left field that I had no idea about.
Yeah, no, it was.
I just thought it was like from a legal standpoint. The governor, New York said, no, we don't have that sport here. They outlawed it.
No, yeah, but it was union issues. It was all due to money. They wanted to charge them such an exorbitant amount of money. They went to the negotiating tables a bunch of times. And they kept saying, well, they were like, no, we're going to do it. Because in Vegas, they don't have that type of, the unions are different. So
you're like the people on Facebook who want to go out of their way to prove me wrong or to knock down
shit on
something.
your point.
Yeah, you're shitting on my point. All I said was New York wanted UFC for the longest time, and we couldn't get it.
Because
For one reason or another.
Yes.
Now we have it.
Yes.
And Dana White sees this as a setback. Like, dude, I'm trying hard to make this an acceptable thing here in New York. That New York has now welcomed us in our sport. We can do this here, and you're ruining it for us.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I can understand why Dana
boxers?
I can understand why Dana White is pissed.
What about boxers?
What about boxers?
Mike Tyson used to fight in Harlem all the time and just beat people up. There was that whole what's that guy's name?
Yeah, but Mike Tyson also got locked up a bunch of times.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he just he went. I watched the whole his whole arraignment. He put his cuffs on, did it, but what I'm saying is everybody's acting shocked, especially Dana White. Who are you?
Well, how about this? Can we talk about why did it happen in the first place? It was a bus that was, I don't know if it was full. It was occupied with other fighters, other fighters who were there for
on Wednesday night
or whatever they had to do.
Cornered one of his. Khabib has a longtime rival with Conor,
right?
And him and his entourage were at a hotel on Wednesday night and cornered somebody in McGregor's entourage. It was supposed to fight, and he took that as an insult and went and repped his boys.
Oh, so this was literally a retaliation.
Yes.
Because somebody who cornered one of his guys was on that bus?
Khabib.
Yeah. Or the fighter himself?
The fighter himself, Khabib.
Right. So this was actually a personal thing.
Yes.
But he took it out on the bus. Instead of getting
he told them to get off the bus, and they wouldn't get off the bus.
Oh, so he just started throwing stuff at the bus.
Yeah, and wanted them to get off the bus, yeah.
All right. Well, that's news to me. I'm glad you told me. Yeah. I really didn't know. I didn't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying.
I almost thought maybe he was just doing like some really crazy. Oh, McGregor's acting crazy. He's trying to hype up the UFC fight. You know, maybe he's trying to throw in some
like
WWE drama for his next fight.
No, he was
just like no.
He was actually slated to fight Khabib.
But when? Not tonight.
No. It kept like changing, and then maybe they were thinking November, and I believe that was going to be his next fight.
Hey, I hate to throw a wrench in the works or stop the movement here. I've been waiting for it on April 20th. I just saw the first commercial for Super Troopers 2.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Super Troopers 2. I'm a big fan of the first one. I liked it.
I like all the movies.
Again, late to the game. The first time I saw it was 2003. It had been out for a few years.
Yeah.
Found it absolutely hilarious. I like their brand of humor. And I just hope that this long-awaited sequel is as funny as I remember first one the first time I saw it.
Watch the extended trailer. It looks pretty good. There is one. You could watch it.
I'll be sure to.
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. And we're back. Yes.
Oh, nothing. I'm just saying, like, McGregor that was going to be his, since the Mayweather fight, that was going to be his next opponent was Khabib. The guy in the bus.
I don't think he thought the window was going to break. All he did, really, he threw a dolly. Or what do you call it? A hand truck.
Yeah.
He threw a hand truck with inflatable wheels. You know what? What are the odds?
It's a big window.
What are the odds a hard part of this hand truck is going to hit and break the window?
I actually think the blade on the bottom is what did the damage.
I think, well, you told me somebody else threw something at the front window.
Yeah, a chair at the front window. Yeah.
Okay. The chair didn't break the front window.
No.
He's throwing something bottom side up, figuring the fucking inflatable wheels are going to hit this. I'm going to make a lot of noise.
I think he like almost did it overhand.
I don't think he thought
No.
it was going to break the window. I don't think he thought throwing this hand truck at the window of the same bus whose front window just did not break.
Yeah.
I don't think he thought he was going to break the window. He might have been acting out. He might have been yelling and looking like an asshole, if you will. But I don't think he was going to break that window. And then after it happened, to find out two fighters technically got quote-unquote hurt from it and that he would end up in jail, get arrested, $50,000 bail.
Yeah, well, 51. But not to shit on your point, but I watched the arraignment yesterday. What do you want? I was invested in it. But I think going back June 17th, I believe, or 14th for their hearing. But that's what I say. Like the whole thing that like when somebody acts so shocked that fighters act violently and people are outraged, it's like, dude, so it's okay if you put them in a cage and let them beat the shit out of each other, but when he does it on the outside, oh, that's inappropriate. Come on, that's what they do. They have a switch. They get angry. That's what happens.
That's not the first time you've voiced that opinion in this show. even after I shit on your point, you came back to it. And I will say I don't agree, even for shits and giggles. There's a lot of ridiculous things that come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
If you're a professional fighter, you fight. That's your job. You fight when you're supposed to fight. When you do something like this, you're being uncivil.
So?
And being a professional fighter, you unfortunately do have the responsibility of being on your best behavior when you're not in the ring. Because you have skills, you have a skill set, I'm not talking about his temper or some rage or anger.
No, his ability to cause damage to somebody else.
You have an ability to cause damage, to personal damage, property damage, in which case he did both here.
So you're talking, your argument's that whole myth that once you became a black belt in Kung Fu, you had to register your hands as deadly weapons.
Does he have any parts of his body registered as deadly weapons? But that's what I'm saying. I actually don't agree with you on that.
Oh, you don't have to, but
we don't live in gladiator times.
No,
we're
but
like,
people,
what did we expect from the guy?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people forget we're just highly evolved apes. We're animals.
Well, I also think.
Did I lose you?
No, we are.
Yeah,
but we're very evolved. Even if you want to say we're evolved from animals, we're very evolved.
Right.
We are so evolved that we are expected to act a certain way, and he did not. You can't just say, well, he's got that chromosome, or he's still just a little more animal.
I don't know. I think people are making a mountain out of a molehill. Way worse things have happened, and then it's just I don't know. It's silly. People are making this an issue.
I had a point. Hang on.
Because guess what? At the end of the day,
lead to something.
At the end of the day, it still made them more money.
Says you.
No, it says Dana White.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What's today? No, Friday. Friday morning, he was doing another press conference afterwards. And he said he was actually... Oh, no, sorry. That was this morning, I believe. And he said that actually...
But Conor McGregor did not do this with the intention of selling more pay-per-views.
But at the end of the day...
He didn't do this for UFC. He wasn't trying to create a buzz. He wasn't trying... Unless he was and it got out of hand. I don't know.
But I don't know that either. But either way, it still made the company more money.
Oh. I remember what I was going to say.
What?
I still think he's just a crazy bastard. This might have just been something he did completely off the hook because he is...
Conor McGregor.
An unchained animal.
Yeah.
I also heard there's a hit out for him.
Irish Mafia.
600,000 pounds, 900,000 pounds, or 9,000 pounds. I don't know the number. Yeah, the Irish Mafia. And he literally said, let them come at me. They want to come at me? Come at me. Like, he's kind of crazy. He's in trouble.
What?
I believe he got into, like, a bar fight with, like, an Irish Mafia member. Somebody from the Irish Mafia. And they're like, we'll put a hit out on him.
Yeah, but how much of that is posturing?
Posturing by who? Him or the Irish mob?
Both sides.
From what I understand, the Irish mob doesn't fuck around.
No.
I'm not saying the Italian mob does either, but these boys.
Well, have you ever met
They've
Henry
been
Hill?
Disrespected. No, but I saw Goodfellas, so I believe everything I see on TV. It all happened like that.
I mean, I don't know. But that again, that proves my point. The guy is you pay him because he's unstable, and I mean, I'm not saying like.
Yeah, but this wasn't in the course of his job.
So.
Dana White wasn't in on it. The UFC wasn't in on it. Nobody on that bus was in on it. This guy was really just... He snapped his carrot. He blew his fuse.
But everybody's capable of that.
And people got hurt.
No, people get hurt.
And because of that...
they got scraped up a little bit.
3 fights on tonight's
schedule. That's going to be the biggest...
changed.
That's going to be the biggest issue, is he's going to get sued by all those people. He's going to have to pay their purse. And then some. Because those fighters lost out on money.
In civil, that'll be a civil case against him.
They're going to sue him for the purse. I'm not saying that he can't afford it. He can.
Or will everybody just take their chances fighting him in the octagon? You're already rich. You want to sue the guy?
Yes.
Or do you want to beat
UFC,
him?
No, UFC fighters aren't rich.
What do you mean?
You and I probably make more than most of those guys.
No, they have endorsements by every protein shake, every power bar.
No, that's
all the gear that they wear.
Nah, they get their
leotards,
it's not
their
like
little short shorts.
Right. That doesn't work out to cash. That works out to we'll give you this stuff. You're not taking home cash.
It works out to cash.
No. That's a big bone of contention with the UFC as an organization is they barely pay their fighters. You have a tier, like if you're up with like Ronda Rousey or like Conor McGregor, Khabib, or Rampage, or you're making names and you're bringing in money, you get paid that amount. But no, that's a big bone of contention with fighters and the UFC. They realize that's the only legitimate outlet for their sport. But they're notorious for not paying those people at all. You and I know for a fact, make more than most of those fighters. They have to, because they might make $70,000 for that fight.
Hey, you know who else makes about $70,000?
Yeah.
What is it? God damn it. Teenage Pregnancies on MTV. What is that? 18 and Pregnant?
16 and Pregnant.
Yeah.
I love that show, yeah.
You know how much they make? About 70, 80 grand.
Yeah, they don't. That's why everybody says, but they might actually get like club appearances.
They get extra money. They get endorsements.
But
they
fighters,
don't pay for diapers. Pampers is like, sponsoring them and all that
fighters,
shit.
when they say endorsements, they'll just get that stuff. They'll get the protein powder that they need. Then it's not working out to cash, and that's a big issue with the sport as a whole. Is those fighters don't get paid a lot of money.
Right. Still, but you want to know how much money they are saving by Metrex giving them like. Here's a case of this and a case of that.
But now think about this.
And then Under Armour gives them here's 3 dozen pairs of shorts and shirts.
For argument's sake, you make $75,000 off one fight. They take the taxes out of that, right?
Okay.
You can maybe do one a year, and all you're doing.
They fight more than once a year, don't they?
What if you got really wailed on?
Well, then you got to take your own time.
And then
I think you're going to fight at least 2 fights a year, maybe 3.
But now
professional fights.
Take
$75,000 a year.
Make
$75,000 a fight, $150,000 a year.
Granted, there are bonuses when you win.
Taxes.
Now, I don't know what kind of medical you got, but what happens when you know what I mean?
They're all incorporated. Everything's a write-off. The gym, the property, half my house is a gym, the other half is an office. They're writing everything off still. They have tax guys. They're making more money than they claim.
You think so?
Absolutely. I think UFC fighters are fucking doing marvelously.
I think a few of them are. I think on a whole, I don't think they make as much as you think.
I think you're doing good if you're getting your ass kicked on a pay-per-view. Even if you lose, you're doing good.
Not the first couple of fights, no. Those guys are throwaway cards.
I don't want to let this conversation get any farther away from us from where we started, but
we are wandering. But no, they shouldn't bother him. He did a fine service for UFC as a whole.
In the end,
yeah,
it's been not that it's been spun. He's still being held on $51,000 bail.
No, he's out. Oh yeah, he's
out on bail,
and he got his
multiple charges.
And he got his passport. Yeah.
Multiple charges.
3, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll pay a fine. He'll be out of it.
Well, I'm following this one, so we'll keep tabs on this. How can I not? Anytime you turn on TV or listen to another radio show or podcast,
that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's being blown out of proportion. We shouldn't even be talking about it.
We've talked about it too much.
The important thing now.
I'll edit this down on YouTube.
Backpage. That's something important we need to talk about.
Did we talk about Craigslist last time we were here, or was that another friend? Because I do find myself on Craigslist for this, that, or the third, or I've got a few things posted here and there.
Okay.
And I was actually looking to see, do I still have my my thing on Craigslist? And I couldn't find anything. And I talked to my friend. I'm like, hey, what's going on with Craigslist? In the cubicle next to me. Nothing. What are you talking about? I was on it the other day. I go, I don't think the classifieds are here. Absolutely. I was just on it the other day. I go, well, then this message is brand new. And this was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It's gone.
It's eliminated.
The government got rid of the classifieds, personal ads, the dating ads.
Yeah, and
on Craigslist.
Yeah,
and then now to find out what you're about to talk about.
Well, we can talk about it. Backpage.com. But also to piggyback your point, I think I was reading also that a furry chat room got shut down for the same reasons that the Craigslist thing is. That they want furries fucking, Well,
because it's sex related.
Yeah.
Sex related.
Even wow.
They're really trying to clean it up. So now my question is, I'm going to jump ahead. We're going to still talk about what happened with Backpage, but you're going to talk about Backpage is now down, the classified personals, and what's the other section? Missed encounters.
Yeah, missed encounter.
People hooking up with other people for free or for money.
No, missed encounters is like if you saw I was walking through and I bumped into a girl in the supermarket and she smiled at me and I was like, oh, but I had to run and take a phone call. I'd be like, hey, you were wearing the yellow T-shirt. You were so beautiful.
Oh, that's what missed it.
Yeah. And then you'd write that whole thing and then hopefully she'd see it and be like, oh, yes, I love you too. You know,
oh, my God. Honestly, that sounds crazy.
It's the sad, most entertaining and sad thing.
That really does sound crazy.
Oh, I used to read them all the time. It's the most sad and entertaining thing you could possibly do.
That's fucking hilarious.
That
great. Actually is pretty hilarious.
But they had to shift that to a different. It's not in the personals anymore. I think it's in services or something.
I'm having a major case of deja vu right now.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this last show, right?
No.
This conversation didn't happen?
No.
Well, something's the same, but okay. Either way. Don't worry about that right now. So Backpage shut down.
Mm-hmm.
The personal classified ads to find dates, whether for free or for money, on Craigslist is gone.
I'll use the Bob-friendly term sex worker.
Absolutely. You know what? It's the world's oldest tradition, isn't it?
Profession.
And tradition. Yes.
But yeah, apparently the FBI raided the owner, Michael Lacey's home.
This is Backpage.
Mm-hmm. And got rid of everything. Yeah, he's going to be in trouble.
But why? What did he have going on his end that made the whole website now defunct? Was he involved in illegal activities or
hookers? Yeah. Sex workers. Sorry. Yeah.
Sex workers. Sir, let's keep it respectable. Now,
I will not say hua.
Where are people turning? Are we just going to see hookers on the street again? Oh my God! Please, can we see hookers on the street?
Go to College Point. It's the new Hunter. It's new Hunts Point. You have to have a point. When you want to find hookers, you have to find a spot that says point.
How about King's Point?
Yeah, Hunter's Point, Hunts Point, College Point. They're all
College Point.
College Point's a terrible spot.
Not bad.
Yeah. If you want to, I can.
He's at a loss for words.
No, they're just walking like openly. It's springtime showing up now. They got the Dunkin' Donuts. They're out all night. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, oh yeah, doing their hair.
Where's this?
Side view mirror. Yeah.
College Point?
Yeah. College Point, Queens.
Like by Shea Stadium? The new Shea Stadium?
Well, it's Point. No. Yeah, it's about 5-10 minutes away from there. Yeah.
College Point.
Expressway.
Van Wyck.
Right off of Van Wyck. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've never seen them actually
right
walking around.
Yeah. Well, you have to get.
People say. They say. You stopped seeing a lot of out in the open hookers because they were online. You can easily find them online.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to leave their residence or they don't have to leave the hotel or the motel.
Yeah, no, there's nothing nice about these.
They're just on the app.
These are zombies. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't need a zombie.
They're meth mouth zombies. Yeah.
No, that's out. You're out.
Yeah, no, they're out there all night, all day. You see, like, I'll come in early in the morning, the same girl walking the same strip.
No.
Yeah, no.
None of that.
Yeah, they get about a 7-month turnover.
I'm actually pretty turned off right now. I never thought I could talk about sex workers and hookers and be turned off.
Well, would you technically
I'm pretty turned off?
Would you a streetwalker like that? Would you a sex worker still, or do we have special names for those?
No, it depends. How big's her dick? Hi, Daddy.
Speaking of the handshake conundrum from before, I've become like hip to it now, but you'd always get the wave because I'd be stuck in traffic trying to get back onto the Van Wyck, and you get the wave, and I'd wave back just to be friendly, and then they start walking over like fuck, and
I don't know. I might be blind. I don't know where you're talking about. I've been in College Point, through College Point, the Van Wyck, the Expressway, trying to get off because there was a traffic jam, thinking I can get around, going through the industrial park of College Point.
Do you know where?
I still never saw anything but little mengs with shovels.
No, that's the ones that you have to go over like the area where like the tenements are and the buildings and everything. Like, you know where the New York Times and the Toys R Us buildings are?
No.
Yeah, well, so you're not in College Point, trust me.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
But anyway,
all right.
So now the real crime here is that these sex workers
hookers
who paid for this paid for the ads are not concerned. Where is their money? Like, they paid for these ads to be put up on Backpage.
Oh, because they paid for ads, and now that the ad to the site that they paid for is now defunct, they want to know where's my ad money. They actually want a refund. They want their $35 back or whatever it is.
I guess, yeah. Well, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know how. I've never advertised myself on Backpage, but
I've never been to Backpage.
Neither have I. I know plenty of people who do.
I do well enough on my own to not have to seek other sources like that.
So, yeah, good for you.
But God bless them.
It's not below you. It's just not your lane.
But we do, because I'm not a pioneer, but I am right there behind them. We got to find another way.
Behind them.
And what's he doing behind them? we do have to find another open channel for this communication. Otherwise, we will just see like streetwalkers.
Why not, though?
Hookers walking the streets.
Give the NYPD something to do.
Oh, no. They're too busy. They're too busy.
Oh, when Times Square gets overrun with sex workers, they won't be busy for that.
You know what? Maybe it had nothing to do with Disney buying over Times Square and cleaning it all up. Maybe it was just the fact that they didn't need to walk out in public anymore.
Yeah, VHS,
they downloaded
DVDs,
the app on their
internet.
smartphone, and they set their dates. And
I believe you could still do it with Twitter. I've noticed.
I heard about that. Who was telling me about that?
That was me.
Oh, it was you.
Yeah, that I suddenly realized that people I follow, because I thought they were attractive, turned out to be hookers. Oh, sorry, sex workers. and I just kept following because I found it interesting. They'd say, like, I'm going to be in this city or this town from this date to this date.
Well, they could be professionals. They could also just be, they could be porn stars or porn actresses.
No, they're pretty upfront about it.
Oh, they're just like in town for 4 days, and
I offer these services.
Here's my rates. They're not even like disguising it. Like they call it roses.
Right. No.
100 roses. I'm like, the fuck's this bitch need 100 roses for?
Yeah. No. This is just.
Oh, it's $100.
Yeah. No, they're like.
Are they really fooling anybody? Can you not get prosecuted for online prostitution because you? Oh, I don't do anything for money. I requested 100 roses. Oh, we better let her go. She only wanted roses.
If she had enough roses to afford a good attorney, she might be able to get away with that.
You know what? Maybe it's such an airtight thing. Mm-hmm. That's why the sites had to close. They advertised their services for 100 roses, and well, there was no mention of money, so we couldn't bust her if we tried. We better just shut down the website.
Maybe.
Harumph.
It could be, but. Well, I don't know.
It's just so stupid.
Yeah, but I think Twitter's the next, because Twitter's pretty much an open. You know, I don't.
You can do anything on Twitter.
Right. I see. I don't open
anything.
Twitter if like my daughter's in the room.
It's hard to use because you never know what you're going to say.
Oh yeah, no, and it's hardcore graphic porn will pop up out of nowhere.
Yep,
and you're like, whoa.
I mean, thank God for that. But yeah,
that's
a company.
But yeah, exactly.
Twitter can't be opened.
Yeah, it'll come out of nowhere. Like somebody will retweet something. You're like, Jesus. What are you doing?
Jesus. Speaking of Jesus, Easter Sunday was last Sunday. What did you do? Anything good with the family?
Yeah, I just hung out with the family.
Did something just sound weird? You hear that?
No.
Maybe it's my ears?
Mom.
Maybe I had a burp that didn't come out?
Maybe.
All right, anyway. Sorry about that. So Easter, you do anything good for Easter?
No.
Anything fun?
Hung out with the family.
Did you go to church?
No.
Did you... Easter. We don't usually do anything for Easter because we're kind of realistic. Like, yeah, we raised Catholic, but I'm like, he might have died on Friday. I'll tell you what he didn't do on Sunday. He didn't rise from the dead. So we're kind of like, all right, we agree.
You don't do the whole Lent thing?
What?
Lent. Like give stuff up for Lent?
No.
No.
Not since I lived on my own, moved out, and had my own free thoughts.
I have a wonderful friend of mine. Almost stereotypically Italian.
Hey.
Oh, where's that? A couple 2, 3 over there. You mink, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Like Valley Stream, Howard Beach type dudes, Who one of my favorite things about this gentleman is he described to me, Dave, he takes it very seriously. He's like almost the same age as me, very serious, like old school, like takes his religion very seriously. And he's like, yeah, 1 year, I gave up littering for Lent. It worked out so well, I never went back.
Littering.
Gave up littering.
That's pretty classic.
So he's probably the same age, mid-30s. A couple years ago, I gave up littering for Lent. I never went back. That's how good the Lord is.
Oh, my goodness. Good God.
Like, come on, man. Are you serious about that? My man gave up littering for Lent, but made the point to say he never went back.
So it made him feel good.
I guess.
He felt good about it.
So I was like, you're a decent human being.
Hey, I'm going to throw my garbage out in a garbage can for the Lord.
So this year, he gave up cheese. He's Italian, so it's very difficult.
We put cheese on everything.
Everything. So then we were working together. Watched my man eat a slice of pizza. 2 slices of pizza. And I said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Yo, this ain't real cheese. Come on, stop. This is like
oh, come on."
He's like, "We got, Parmesan mozzarella. That's not real cheese. I'm talking like heart attack cheese. This is regular cheese. It's fine. It's fine." I was like, "So you're kicking Jesus in the dick? What you doing right now? You don't
really what you're doing."
And he's like, "Stop. Don't talk like that. Stop." He understands. I got dirty hands. I'm not gonna peel the cheese off my pizza. So we went out like a couple days later. He made the guy in the pizza place peel because I was there, and obviously I'm gonna point it out because that's the type of human being I am. He peeled it off, made the guy put fresh sauce on there. So we start eating, and I look at him like, "Yo, look at that sauce." I was like, "It's got cheese in it." He's like, "Stop. Parmesan don't count. I told you. It's just like salt."
Parmesan's like salt. That's a condiment. Yeah. That's a condiment. That's okay.
I was like, "They put Parmesan in that sauce." It's a condiment. Stop. It's like salt.
This is a coworker of yours?
Yeah.
You are very blessed to have this guy entertaining you on a semi-daily basis. That's kind of awesome.
Oh, it's the best. That's the greatest story ever.
I gave up literally for Lent. Worked out so good. I stopped all
even
together.
so, like if you're talking, it's almost like.
Does he smoke a pack a day?
No, but he does.
Anything else he should be giving up for Lent other than littering?
No, he's actually he's a pretty good guy.
Pretty funny. That's good.
But all around, but he's even like old school. Like when he says like hold on, he doesn't say hold on. He goes a spet.
What does that even mean?
Hold on.
Was it Italian?
Yeah, or whatever that weird Italian-American type of slang.
Sicilian. He's probably Sicilian.
Like, he says Ming, Ming.
Yeah, he sounds like he's Sicilian. He's watched The Sopranos too many times, and he watches Goodfellas on the high holidays.
No, I just think that's how it is with them.
Yeah? He was from, like, Rockaway, Howard Beach?
Valley Stream.
All right. Five Towns area? Close. He's next to the Five Towns area.
Yeah.
He's either Jewish or Italian, and he's Italian.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say about Italians.
What?
They're just Jews that can't read.
Half a Jew? Oh.
Well, did you watch the Roseanne premiere?
3 episodes. As far as I know, 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I found it on Hulu because I'm unplugged. What's the word now?
Cable cutter.
I cut the cable.
Yeah.
So I watch everything on the Showbox app, on a third-party app. I've got Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix. I found Roseanne on Hulu.
Yeah, well, it's 2 episodes. The first one was like an hour, so they might have put 2 episodes on in a row.
So I watched episode 3 the other day. So that was episode 2, half-hour show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like it.
Yeah?
It reminds me of when Roseanne was on in the 90s.
I think it was...
I mean, I didn't watch it like... I was a kid. I didn't really watch a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Whatever was on is on. But later on, in reruns, you watch Roseanne and be like, this is a really good show.
It is.
The last season, the last 2 seasons were good. I'm like, I'm pretty psyched.
Oh, you like
for this to come back?
The Lotto seasons where they won the Lotto?
The who?
The last seasons where they won the Lotto.
That was the last season, wasn't it? And then I don't even remember how it ended up. Like it turned out it was all a dream.
And Dan died.
She didn't win the Lotto, and she was really just writing her book
to cope with Dan's death.
And then Dan really did die.
Yeah,
he's alive, obviously.
Yes,
but I'm in. I like it.
Yeah,
it's as if they never skipped a beat.
Oh,
which I like.
No, it was great. Yeah.
Now, could the Wonder Years do it? Could the Wonder Years come back? No. That was well, first of all, that took place in the 60s, right? So that's already a period show. It couldn't come back.
No, unless they did a period show in the 80s.
Nobody
but it wouldn't work. Yeah, no. I was just wondering, like, with all the...
Look, I thought it was good without the whole pro-Trump angle, which it's obviously the show is very pro-Trump. I heard Trump called Roseanne and said, "Oh, I really like the show. We got a good response, and it's a good thing you're doing there."
Yeah,
unnecessary.
No, I think it.
I don't mind it being political. Roseanne's always been a working class family,
right? But I think they weaved the line pretty well on both sides.
Well, they made it very funny with the sister's point of view, obviously,
and her pussy hat and everything.
Yeah, she was obviously a Hillary supporter and.
Yeah,
and the blah blah blah.
An ex-cop who's a Hillary supporter.
Yes. But I don't know. I think everything is going well. It's every show has a little bit of a message. Yeah, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
No.
Is that it? Wait, is that a new segment?
No.
This week's thumbs up. What do we give a thumbs up?
No, I mean
to?
that's like this is like it was a pretty big news thing.
It's pop culture.
I think we talked about it last
finest.
episode about how Jimmy Kimmel was trying to bully her into
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and people still bullying her about it. And she's taking it. She's just like, I don't care. And I think they got renewed.
When has Roseanne ever cared about what people say?
No, I know.
And mind you, isn't the whole season like already in the bag?
Yeah, they renewed it for a second season. I think it was 18.2 million viewers.
Dude,
that's insane.
Everybody wants to see this again.
Yeah, and it's good. Like you said, it was like they didn't skip a beat. They just showed back up and everything.
It's just like, hey, 20 years later, here's what's going on.
And it worked exactly. I think it worked very well. There was nothing that seemed too forced.
And I like how they there's a lot of callbacks to the old show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you were tougher on me. Like, you were always, or we were tough on you, so you should know how to be tough on your kid. I want to be fun grandma. I shouldn't have to discipline your kid. Talking about Darlene, who lives at the house with her kid, who's like acting like she did. And I watched last episode, and it was dealt with. I'm like,
Oh, she threw her head in the sink.
I'm a big fan.
I'm a
big fan. They're talking about how there's lack of discipline in this generation.
100%. I'm guilty of it too.
And Roseanne's not going to fucking put up with it. I like it. I'll watch it.
Do you know what time it is?
What time is it? It's time to tell everybody where we are. We are at Buckley's Irish Pub, 386 Main Street in Santa Mariches.
Indeed. One of the best Guinness pours around.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Did that sound seamless? Do you think anybody knows we took another break there?
No.
So I should just stop announcing that we took.
Yeah,
breaks?
you're good at your job.
No, I like that though. we took another break. You're a good producer, and I'm the master engineer. All I had to do is remember to hit pause. Don't hit stop. If I hit stop, I completely change the file into another. It's another file.
We did that a couple of times, didn't we?
It's just fucking terrible.
Even with the laptop, when you had the laptop going.
Yeah, that was just a whole nother story.
You couldn't even go back to that, could you?
Every 10 minutes, the laptop would turn black.
Oh, you have to
and I would
refresh it.
Hit the space bar to turn it back on, and hitting the space bar is like hitting stop, and that was a problem we had when we were using the laptop.
That and we would get way drunker.
Yeah, I still don't feel too good. I did start the show. I wanted a beer. Mm-hmm. I wanted a Sam Seasonal. We were here 2 weeks ago, and I heard somebody order a cold
Sam
snap.
Seasonal.
I love a good Sam Adams Seasonal.
I
heard somebody order a cold snap 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I do get a little drunk when we do this show. Maybe I shouldn't be drinking booze.
Hey, guess what? I remember there was. I got pretty like I'm just as guilty too. I'm trying to remember what time it was, but I got a little sloppy, and I think you pointed it out.
Oh, excuse me. Still a good show.
Yeah.
A drunk Dave, a wasted Dave is still better than a buzzed Bob.
Oh, there's that one app that we kept explaining the Van Halen concert to me over and over again.
You mean the drunk show? Sir.
That was still. We should.
It's embarrassingly funny.
You should take those clips and make that into a.
I really had no idea how many times I started repeating the same story that I had just told. Like, I was really...
I think you only broke me on the last one. I was like, oh, Jesus, Bob, come on, let's go. And then I just started asking you questions about it again.
Oh, it's just... I mean, listening to it, I found it funny. It was a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, the comedy genius of my partner just letting me drink, letting me talk about whatever. Yeah, it's got to be gold on the other side.
That's been pointed out to me more than one occasions that, like, I'm devious that way. Like, I can drink just to, like.
You must have enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, but my, like.
To a point.
I'm a professional.
At some point, you're like, oh, this fucking guy.
No. I'm saying, like, it seems devious. Like, I will be drinking, and it looks like I'll be doing 1-for-1 with you. But your average guy, that's not, like, I feel. Somebody tries to go drink for drink with me, shot for shot. It's
no. I am traditionally I'm a beer drinker.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't know. The way I look, I should just drink beer.
Health. No.
What am I doing? I'm saving
in
carbs.
Full disclosure,
I'm trying to save carbs and I'm trying to save calories. But every drink I have is double what you're having.
You're losing weight. I am not.
No, I'm not. I'm going up, sir. It's not good.
You're not doing that meal thing again?
I lost 30 to put back on 10, and I'm around there.
Oh, so you're not doing the meal prep thing?
I am. Still.
Yeah.
It's just helping me because I'm off the rails.
Yeah, well, in full disclosure, I don't drink as much beer as I used to. I want to say in December, I stopped drinking beer. And,
in December, we kind of stopped doing shows
but I also
2 or 3 months.
I also pretty much went dry for a couple months.
Sometimes it's good.
I drank wine. That same guy, the same Lent guy, turned me on to red wine. But then that turned into like
bottles of wine.
I would drink like three bottles a night.
Yeah.
Because to me, at first I was like, "Ooh, this is nice," but then it was like, "All right, this doesn't do anything." On to the next one. Not only is it expensive, because it wasn't like I was drinking, Yellowtail or Barefoot. I was drinking like.
So you're spending $60 a day on.
No. I found
bottles of wine.
I found a good distributor in College Point of all places, and I was a big fan of Francis Coppola, his winery.
Okay.
Great wines, and Bordeaux's. Like I immediately went fancy with it and like. Got obnoxious to where my wife was like, this isn't like, you couldn't just get a bottle of wine. I'd be like, well, that vintage right to 2015 was good, but like I got, snobby with it because I am trying to drink less beer.
See, all of that, you just talked about it. You talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
If we turn this into a business, it's all a write-off. Today's bill could be a write-off. Every time we come here and spend $60 drinking and hanging out, it's part of the show. I should be able to write off the equipment we're using. All of this horse shit is a write-off. But we didn't take the first step to even a sole proprietorship. We don't even have to LLC it. Yeah. Sole proprietorship. I am my own entertainment company. And in that company, I do a podcast with my friend. Right. And I bought this equipment, and we spend this much money on booze. And, it's part of the show. It's our location.
Right.
I really need to get on this. But no. I buy cords, stands, the recorder.
Mm-hmm.
How many times do we pay to get drunk? For the show.
For the show.
We should be writing this off.
Right.
I'm all about bringing down my taxable income at the end of the year. Boy, am I.
You're talking to me. So, it's a nightmare for me.
Maybe I'll do this. And then maybe I could also incorporate all the gigs that I play. And then I write off.
Smart. Isn't that a lot of legwork, though?
It's really not. I had a business. I ran it as a sole proprietorship, which makes it easy to do your taxes because your business taxes get funneled through your personal taxes. And it's all a write-off anyway on paper. So, I was not a successful business owner. I took a loss. Most businesses take a loss their first 3 years.
I did also. Yeah.
Yes. Conveniently, I took a loss too.
I just.
It's cash in the pocket, but it's a loss on paper.
Right. I just. No. I didn't last much longer than a year.
Well, I'm an idiot because I spent a lot of money on our recorder and accessories before having this thought.
All right. I would have never thought about that.
It would still be nice just to know every time I come to Buckley's, that's a write-off.
That is a good idea.
Maybe I'll make it so.
Work on it.
I'll look into that. Anywho, we're already off the rails. We're off track.
No, we're not. We're right on track.
Went back to the bar, and I said, that's just a regular Diet Coke. And then I drank a few sips, and I made room, and I had her put a shot in for me.
Look at you.
Yeah.
So, for our next segment, we've actually secured a sponsor.
Oh, we have a sponsor?
We do.
What's going on?
Well, our segment, the Twat of the Day, we actually had some interest, and I was given what they call a read. So I'm going to read the commercial for our next sponsor. So now we're going to try and sponsor different segments. And today's sponsor for Twat of the Day is Lysol Disinfectant, the concentrated germ killer.
Do tell.
And often a woman fails to realize that doubts due to one intimate neglect will shut her out from a happy, healthy relationship. Lysol has an amazing proved power to kill germ life on contact, truly cleaning the vaginal canal, even in the presence of mucus matter. Lysol keeps you desirable. And always, ladies, when in doubt, Lysol that box out.
I like your tagline at the end, sir. When in doubt, Lysol your box out.
Yeah.
But was this a fabrication? Or was this actually something...
Yeah, I don't think Lysol's going to sponsor the Twat of the Day on our meager little podcast.
Oh, man, you didn't have to say that. I just mean, is this a real commercial?
No, I wrote...
At some period of time?
No, I wrote that I took an amalgamation of a bunch of different.
Of course you wrote that.
Yeah.
But were you on a kick? Is this actually an advertisement from the 50s?
Oh, I don't even think it was 50s. I think they learned that this stuff was bad for women's boxes before that. I think this was probably like 30s, 40s, maybe. Like that's what Lysol was originally for.
So it is.
It's a real product.
This is something factual from back in the day.
Yes. Women used to spray Lysol all up in there.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, women like to smell nice. I hope.
I do like the read, sir. You took something very topical from a point in time.
You want me to go transcontinental with it?
Oh, please do. Please do.
I didn't practice it though. I could do that though. Hold on a second.
You know how to turn me on, sir. You know how to speak my language.
Today's sponsor for Twat of the Day is Lysol Disinfectant, the concentrated germ killer. Often, a woman fails to realize the doubt is due to one intimate neglect. Will shut her out from a healthy, happy relationship. Lysol has an amazing proof power to kill germ life on contact, truly cleaning the vaginal canal, even in the presence of mucus matter. That's right. Lysol keeps you desirable. When in doubt, ladies, Lysol that box out.
Sir, you've got my endorsement. I am sold. I'm a big fan of
I didn't even stumble on that.
Transcontinental accent.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but beep, brother.
That was the bee's knees, kid. I'm a big fan. I wish everybody talked that way. It's absolutely hilarious. It reminds me of the good old days.
When I found out that was actually like a legit, when I found out the whole story behind it, that's how, I don't know, weird I am. I actually tried to learn it.
You're a genius.
But that's also why I don't have I made sure not to have a Long Island accent. Or like if I go other places, they don't really believe I'm from New York.
Dude, and then you can pull that out of your pocket and really blow their mind. I'm a fan of the Hudsucker Proxy.
Oh, I love that movie.
For that.
Oh, it's great.
Just for that. I can hear that nonstop.
That's a great movie.
Old time 40s and 50s radio voices. And I am
like the War of the Worlds.
I'm in. I'm so in.
But the aliens are closing in New Jersey. Where?
The aliens have landed.
In New Jersey, of all places. Wonderful downtown Secaucus. That's always my go-to New Jersey place, is Secaucus.
Over your shoulder again, sir. I'm sorry. I don't watch sports at all. I'm not a sports guy.
Mm-hmm. I kind of figured.
I used to... What happened?
I said I figured.
You figured because you mean my shape? Not that I don't play
sports. No.
I don't even like to watch sports.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not.
I've used that as a tool in the dating world. I mean, even for the past 20 years. Like, hey, ladies, I don't like sports. Mm-hmm. So if you want to know what I plan on doing all day on a Sunday, it's not sitting on the couch watching sports. What do you want to do on a Sunday? I'm in for that. Like, that was always my angle. Like, I don't watch sports.
That's kind of gross.
But I do like hockey.
Yeah.
I will say this. I like hockey.
Okay.
I remember the first and every hockey game I've ever gone to. The first time I went to hockey with a group of friends who had free tickets, we saw the Islanders play the Penguins.
Okay.
The Islanders broke their losing streak by beating the Penguins. And I had no basis for comparison. I've never been to a hockey game, never watched a hockey game.
Well,
action-packed from the minute it started.
Well, there you go. As far as other sports are concerned, like baseball,
very long.
Long. Even football, even when you go see it live, there's breaks.
Of course.
So games like
Football's
soccer,
longer in person.
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Soccer, hockey, those are good sports to watch live because it's constant, nonstop.
I didn't
even
know,
basketball.
I never knew what a period was in hockey until my first time. At the end of the third period, why is everybody getting up? What's going on?
That's why they don't call it quarters.
Exactly. That's where I was introduced to. This is hockey.
Yeah.
And no, there aren't 4 quarters. It's 3 periods. The Islanders won. Game's over.
Yeah.
And I got even more excited. Holy shit! I mean, we get to go home now. This is awesome. So I became a hockey fan from that day.
Okay.
The next time I went, I saw not overtime. What do they call the extra? Is it overtime?
Yeah.
I saw we had a period of overtime, and it was still tied, and I saw a shootout. And my friend told me how rare it was that we actually saw a shootout. I'm like, dude, I already loved hockey when I found out it was 3 periods.
Mm-hmm.
I watched an extra period and still had a tie, and now there's something called the shootout. I was in. Like, I was already in.
You're sold.
I literally do have a favorite sport. And now, not because it's over your shoulder, I'm not watching it. It's the Rangers versus fucking somebody else. Cheers. I saw you take a shot. The Islanders moved 2 years ago now.
Yeah, Barclays.
From Nassau Coliseum. They've been at the Barclays, and I haven't seen them.
It's a tough arena to watch in.
Now
it's not built for hockey. I've seen a game.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
From what I've heard from people that have been there, it wasn't made for watching hockey.
No.
But they advertised it to the Islanders as, hey, we're building this new center. Why don't you guys come here?
Yeah.
Put your games here. Hey, yeah, that sounds good because, Nassau's not giving us any love. So they go out all the way out to Brooklyn. And I'm like, listen, in my point of view, if I have to get on the train, if I have to get on Long Island Railroad to go see hockey.
And then you have to transfer, yeah.
I've never gone to Madison Square Garden to see the Rangers. If I wanted to take Long Island Railroad, I would go to MSG and see the Rangers. We used to drive to Nassau Coliseum. We would pregame, have you party in the parking lot, blah, blah, blah. It's a different feeling to have to get on a train to go to the Barclays Center just to watch hockey.
Yeah.
I don't
a tough
want to go
area.
to Brooklyn, and it's the Islanders. I don't want to go to Brooklyn, one of the 5 boroughs, to see the Islanders. Anybody who knows, and I know because I'm all over the place. Mm-hmm. I've been there. I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in the Bronx. I lived in Queens. We call ourselves city folk. We're part of the 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
Even though Brooklyn and Queens is technically landlocked with Long Island.
Right.
They don't consider themselves being on Long Island.
Long Island doesn't start till
city.
Nassau. Yeah.
Right. Long Island starts at the Cross Island Parkway, right? Between Queens and Nassau.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the opinion of the people who live in the city, Brooklyn and Queens.
Right.
So now here we are. You take our beloved Islanders to Brooklyn. I'm not going to Brooklyn to see the fucking Islanders. I'm sorry.
I did like their jersey change, though. I bought
Which one?
The black one. I got one.
Actually,
I think you see me wear it.
Do they still wear it?
The black jersey?
Yeah. I don't know. See, I don't know because once they went to Brooklyn, I just hear stories. I don't know.
All the teams that play in the Barclays have the black, like the Nets, all that stuff.
So it's like a location thing. It's like, hey, you're here. You're in our house. These are our colors. This is the house Barkley.
But it's not a nice spot. It's concerts. It's nice. It's great.
It's good for concerts because everything is set up for you to look there.
Yeah.
But if you're standing there trying to look here,
no good.
Hey, there's a giant pole in my way. There's half a wall here. Yeah.
And last time I was there,
I heard it really sucks.
I was trying to walk up the steps. I had a beer in each hand, and I had been drinking all day. I tilted backwards. My friend put his hand up there. I said, "Okay." Handed over 2 beers. I'm like, "I'm going down to the train," because making it back to Long Island Railroad.
You were done. I'm done.
Yep. Now find your way back to Long Island Railroad. It's kind of tough. And then make the switch over in Jamaica.
It's Atlantic Terminal. Don't they have their own station?
I can't recall.
Or do you take the subway from Jamaica to Atlantic?
I don't.
The Barclays Center is Atlantic Terminal. But, because we're Eastern Long Island, we might have to go from Atlantic Terminal at the Barclays Center up to Jamaica, get on another train.
That's what I'm saying. You have to transfer over to Jamaica.
Transfer. I'm like, what the hell, man?
And that's a dash sometimes, or you got to wait a while.
We're talking too much. I'm not a fan, but I hear they're coming back.
Right.
And again, I have issue with that. They're not coming back to Nassau Coliseum.
And we missed.
They're
going to
be in Hempstead.
We did. I read the commercial.
What do you mean?
The Twilight of the Day.
Oh.
That commercial.
Oh, that's why we started talking about that.
Yeah.
That was supposed to lead us in. That was the ad space.
Yeah, the sponsor. We'll get it right one day.
Oh, we fucked up, dude. I'm sorry.
And this is an interesting thing,
too.
Is
that my fault for going into hockey, or was it your fault for lingering and not bringing us where we had to
Maybe I shouldn't have went transcontinental with it.
That's what fucked us up, but it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. Anything else you want to read in the Transcontinental?
Yeah. Would you like me to do the future commercials? Our future commercials in Transcontinental?
You know what? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes to that only because I can't request that you do everything in the
that'd be tough.
Yeah.
Conversations would be tough. I can read, but I can't do conversational Transcontinental.
I don't know. I think you should need to work on that, pal. You really have a fucking skill, and I'm on your side.
So this week is actually pretty interesting because as far as I don't want to step on our album recommendations, but
we do talk. This is because we do talk outside of this radio show,
but we don't usually discuss.
We just happen to mention 2 topics, 2 things that we recommend. And go ahead, please.
What I'm going to say.
What are the coincidences?
So I'm not going to step on the album recommendation, but I'm going to preface the next two segments as saying that we did not discuss these at all.
We did not. But we are on the same wavelength, cosmically, somewhere out there in the cosmos.
Right.
We have a connection.
So
we're reeling in on that on our recommendations.
So Lysol's Twat of the Day. Mine, I picked Dana White.
You did.
And I sent you a picture of what do we call these? Like treatments? What do we outlines? I don't know, whatever it is. I sent you a picture. And
of this. Yes.
And you texted me back, fuck off. I picked Conor McGregor.
I did. I mean, honestly, we did talk about I didn't know we were going to talk about that whole thing in such detail. Yeah. But I saw on your preview of, hey, Bob, check this picture out. I actually typed up notes for the show, and I made a copy for you. And I saw that your Twat of the Day on the bottom of the page says Dana White. And I was like, oh, that's funny, because mine was Conor. Not knowing we were going to talk. Oh, well, it's on the same page. But we talked in detail about that. And because of everything I stated earlier, I do believe Conor McGregor is the Twat of the Day.
I know. I think Dana White is, for example.
But why?
Because Dana White also comes from a background, like, he has, like, vertigo and a bunch of other things, because he himself is a fighter. He would get into brawls at restaurants. He has a sordid history. So for him to sit there and go with that press conference like, this is disgusting behavior. Okay. I know he's towing the company line, but as we stated, these guys are fighters.
You're saying Dana White is the Twat of the Day because he used to do the very things that Conor McGregor is now in trouble for doing.
Right.
See, but that's what makes it now and then. He's Dana White. He's the head of the UFC.
Right.
223 pay-per-views, including tonight's. He can't have one of his employees going off script, causing property damage and personal damage in the name of and on the property of the upcoming venue.
That's neither here nor there.
Okay.
It's hypocrisy at its finest.
All right. It says you.
I do.
Now, I don't need to really go into any more of this. I've stated my opinion on the whole Conor McGregor thing, and I don't think a professional fighter needs to act like an animal when he's not being a professional fighter. There you go. Look at me. Oh, fucking Mr. Responsibility. Oh, what happened to Bob? Oh, I remember this guy when he used to do keg stands and funnels. Oh.
Butt chugs.
No. Well, no. Chugs?
No, but now think about every fighter, boxing, MMA, and otherwise. Like, the ones you remember are the wildest ones.
Maybe. Remember, but do they have promising careers?
Yes.
What do you think this guy's career is? That's what we'll see. How about that? We'll follow that.
He's already done. He can retire now. He's done.
Conor McGregor's future in UFC, if he even has one.
What do you mean? That he's a bigger star? No. What do you mean no?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, you shook your head no. He's got a ridiculously promising... No, it's not even promising. He is the UFC at this current point. He's the face of the UFC.
Conor McGregor.
Yes. 100%. And they know it. That's why when they asked, the reporter asked, are you going to fire Conor McGregor? He flat out said, well, this is bigger than us. Like, he skirted the question because you're not going to fire him.
Well, no, it's bigger than us. Like, he's facing criminal charges.
No.
For all we know, he's going to get locked up for 10 years.
No, he's not going to get locked up for 10 years.
Why do I have to comment on if I'm going to fire, discipline, or even schedule another fight with this fighter when he's now out on bail?
He's not going to.
He has to go to court.
Stop.
He might not even see the light of day for 5 to 10 years. So I don't have to answer that question. It's bigger than this. It's out of our hands. That's what he's talking about.
No, I think he was just skirting the issue because he knows.
Doesn't matter. I think I gave you a very valid point to what you had just said. I'm actually surprised with what came out of my mouth, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, yeah? We're done? Move on?
Move on. Exit on
I said good day, sir.
I said good day, sir.
All right. So,
I want to get to my recommendation of the week.
Yeah. Go for it.
My playlist. Because
it's a playlist, it's not an album.
Well, no, I just want to check my playlist out. I have some favorite songs. This week's album recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Again, something else that, unbeknownst to us, directly relates and coincides with your recommendation.
Yeah.
And I just threw out like, hey, I also have one, and here's why. I've been with great stress comes great release, and I always find a good release from playing music.
Yeah.
But not so much playing bass, because I play bass all the time. I've been a bass player most of my life, and I taught myself, and I can fake my way through a large catalog of songs on 6-string. I have a Dean Flying V. I have a Dimebag Razor guitar, and I bought a no-name Les Paul that actually sounds really good. So on my Les Paul, I was like, you know what? I want to run through a bunch of songs, like my favorite songs. And I went to Guns N' Roses. For songs I've been listening to for 20, 30 years, I find it easy to pick up stuff. Like, I know how it sounds. I can pick it out and play a few songs. Well, I surprised myself with, just last night, a little playlist of my own. From Guns N' Roses, off of Use Your Illusion 1, I played Dust and Bones and Bad Obsession. From Use Your Illusion 2, I ran through 14 Years and Yesterdays, a couple of my favorite songs.
Okay.
You know, not maybe some B-sides. I really like these tunes. And then I ran through Appetite for Destruction, and I found no problem instantly picking up It's So Easy, Night Train, Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone, My Michelle, and Think About You.
No, wait.
Play on 6-string.
Rocket Queen.
No, I didn't get there. I didn't do Paradise City either.
So you didn't want to listen to Steven Adler's girlfriend moaning while Axl was bawling.
Oh, is that who that was?
Steven Adler's? You didn't know that?
No.
The girl in the middle, right? So apparently, well, Steven Adler now says he was cheating on his girlfriend at the time, but you got to save face. Well, I saved his face.
Sure.
I feel bad, Strokey McGee over there. But
Stroke face, heroin face.
So she showed up to the studio and Steven Adler wasn't there. Axl Rose was like, boom, started bawling her out. They recorded it. So when he came to record his drum track, he's playing along and listening, and he's like, and they're like, oh, that was your girlfriend.
Get out of here.
Yeah, 100%.
That's some fucked up in
And then months later,
fighting.
they kicked him out for doing coke. Meanwhile, they're all strung out on heroin. But
Yeah.
That's the saddest story in rock and roll is poor Stevie Adler.
Yeah, it kind of is.
But that's his girlfriend, Axl Rose, is balling out.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
100% proven fact. Yeah.
So, based on that list, I told to you, I was like, I got my album of the week, album of the show.
Album recommendation.
My album recommendation is Appetite for Destruction.
Right.
And what I wanted to get into was like, when it came out, what was it, 87? 88? I was literally, I was 9, 10, or 11 years old.
It was 88, yeah.
I was not a fan of it when it came out, but I knew it was cool because that's what my uncle was listening to. It was all over MTV, but I couldn't relate. As an adult, you listen back, it's amazing.
Savage.
It's really just a great first album for a band from LA or wherever they came from. They
Kansas, right? Oklahoma?
Here and there.
No. Axl was.
Duff is from Seattle.
Yeah.
But they're an
Slash
LA
is
band.
LA,
Yeah, they're an LA band. And from what we know about them, volatile,
say the least,
harsh,
yeah,
raw, and it was a needed taste of something new in the 80s. Like they were really raw.
Yeah.
And from one of the few books I've read, Motley Crue's Dirt.
Good book.
Nikki Sixx was too high to be able to produce Guns N' Roses' first album. It was brought to him, and he was in no place to actually be responsible and work full time.
Yeah.
And he passed on the project, but he could have been the producer for Appetite for Destruction.
Now, was that confirmed by Axl?
Listen, Nikki Sixx put it in his book.
Yeah, but
it had to be confirmed. But yeah, so that's that. So why is that ironic? What's the coincidence? What's your recommendation, sir?
It's Guns N' Roses Live.
It's just amazing, sir.
And there was
we're on the same wavelength somehow.
Well, there's a story behind it because I was arguing with a friend of mine that I hate to say back in my day, but when we were younger, if you were into I would judge you by what you listened to and what you were into.
Because we still judge people.
It's different now. You can't do that. because, like, say there was like an EP from some ska band off New York Moon Records, and you couldn't just go online and either buy it and have it mailed to your house, or even just quickly download it. We're talking pre-Napster. So I could sit there, and if I said, "Oh, did you ever hear this?" and I could throw a deep cut out there, and I'm like, I was listening to it, and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, no," I'm like, sorry, dude, not making a cut, bro. You're moving on. I would judge you on what you had, what you listened to, and your knowledge of stuff, because it was hard to get a tangible album. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't just fake your way through the conversation and say, "Oh yeah," and then go home and download and come back and be like, "Oh yeah, it was great."
No, back then, if you said you listened to something and liked something, you had to have had a copy.
And you have to find. You couldn't go
even
to
even if it was a dubbed tape, you had to have something tangible.
Right. Like back, you couldn't. The stuff I was into, you couldn't just go to like The Wall or Coconuts or something like that, or Sam Goody and pick up. You had to like dig. And I was saying, I also love the convenience of something like Spotify. I pay for my Spotify membership because I could sit there and say, "Oh, you know what? I haven't listened to in a while," and it's all right there at the. So I have this weird like.
So when you pay for Spotify, you actually get to select what you're going to listen to. It doesn't just suggest
no.
shit.
Regular Spotify you can select it, but there's ads and there's things like that.
Yeah.
But Spotify also now. It recommends. It gives you a daily discovery, weekly discovery. So, like, depending on what you're listening to, it'll make a playlist for you and say you like this stuff. And then it gives you your weekly releases to keep you, updated on what's coming out every week. But it also is a battle going on between, well, it's so easy to everybody to listen to everything, but now I can't judge people on what they listen to because everybody can listen to everything at the same time.
Yeah, right.
For argument's sake, I like that song "Delight" by Todd Rundgren. Okay, so I was listening, especially it's a Christmas song, I guess, kind of. I remember I got an email from Spotify. It was like, "Dave Jones, since you're a super fan of Todd Rundgren, we reckon." I was like, hold on a second.
Super fan? I downloaded one song.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? Hey, wait a minute.
I'm like, "Wait, how did you send this out? Who else got this?" I'm like, "I don't need to get it out that I like Todd Rundgren." I'm like,
Can you sue them for that? That's like defamation of character. Slander?
So, but also now, the other day, we're in that argument. I was like, you know what I haven't listened to in a while? Is Guns N' Roses. And I loved Guns N' Roses. I even saw the Buckethead performance at Madison Square Garden.
Were you there?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
It was great.
I didn't see that.
So then I was like, I started listening. I was like, Lies, man. Like, Appetite for Destruction is amazing. I even own the original artwork, vinyl. Huge fan. But Lies, to me, you have their version of Mama Kin, which is, dude.
It's very good.
It blows away Aerosmith. Sorry to say.
No, absolutely.
It's just like you throw
it's classic.
Headphones on, you crank it almost to blowing out your speakers in your car. That song is great. And then you got Patience. Used to Love Her.
Yep.
1 in a Million.
Sure.
Dropping N-bombs, huh? So I said Patience, 1 in a Million. Used to Love Her. You're Crazy.
Yeah.
Nice Boys Don't Play Rock and Roll. Like you know what I mean? Like it's almost. Like
it's almost a forgotten album.
It is.
I have it on my phone. I don't listen to it.
And then to think about it, the same way you like when you were.
And who comes out and puts out the follow-up to their amazing out of nowhere #1 album? We're gonna do an acoustic album. Who the fuck does that?
Well, listen. This is what
and
it is.
have it rock as hard as their first album.
Now,
what a follow-up!
I will because same reason, like you said when we were joking around about Kiss last week. And I said, and you said, Kiss Alive.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now the first half of Lies is live. So you get that that version of Mama Kin is live, and it's slam, it's raw, it just kills it. It's perfect. Boom, 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 and then you get the other half. So it's a split in half. You got that rockin' alive.
It's great.
And every one of those acoustic songs, Well, as soon as it's like.
Oh, of course, it's the whistle song.
And it's like,
what's up, whistles?
And if somebody what album is that on, you'd probably be like, you would. Nobody would. I guess
it's Lies.
But I'm saying 50% of the population wouldn't guess Lies.
If they're not fans,
right?
But you know the song.
Yeah. Used to Love Her. Come on, man.
That's great.
That's a campfire song with acoustic guitars.
Fucking classic, man.
It is. That's why I say
that. I do get a kick out of that. We were on the money
for 2 totally different reasons.
It's just hilarious.
It is.
I mean, not that it's not fucking funny, like haha funny. It's just like, wow, what do you know?
It's odd.
Let's see what happens next time. It could be the only time. So hold on. I just want to breathe it in.
And unrelated.
Cherish the moment.
I think I posted something and I was waiting for an argument from you that I posted, best thing to come out of Kiss was back in the New York Groove. It changed my mind.
What? What is it now?
I posted out. No, I said the best thing to come from the band Kiss was the song New York Groove.
And you changed your mind?
No, nobody's changed my mind because you can't argue with that.
Oh, you know what? I didn't see that post. I would have probably had something to say.
Well,
really, Detroit Rock City, Love Gun, and rock and roll all night.
The only battle you might have is I Was Made for Loving You.
No, not at all. That was Kisco Disco. Also, but that was off of Dynasty, a great album.
Yeah.
I Was Made for Loving You. I'll skip that. I don't even listen to that song. I go right to track 2, 2000 Man.
What? And you call yourself a member of the Kiss Army.
Never said that. I'm just a fucking good fan. Don't fuck with me on Kiss.
New York Groove.
Yeah, what? Actually, New York Groove, not even a Kiss song.
That was Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley solo. When all 4 guys put out their own solo effort at the same time, they all had the same release date.
It was a Kiss album. It was just a way to make money.
Ace Frehley's was the best.
Well, yeah, because he's
multiple hits off of that, but New York Groove being
abducted by aliens too.
Who? Ace?
Yeah, that's what he says.
I don't even know that story. I don't listen to that horse shit.
He said it on Stern.
Not abducted by aliens. He was probably high on coke. So, well, without further ado, I think this was a pretty good show. I like that we both had something to say about UFC.
Yeah.
We picked our twats of the week. Mm-hmm. We're on the opposite side of the spectrum in the same world.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. And our love for GNR. We actually had a pretty good show as far as sharing, though different opinions, we're in the same camp.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will ever
and
I'm
not saying Appetite for Destruction is a bad album by any means. It's
no, not at all. But the fact that we both picked the GNR album, and for 2 different reasons.
Yeah.
And like I was just texting.
I just think Lies is an underrated album.
I'm on a GNR binge.
Yeah.
And I'm playing them on guitar, and like this is why I'm picking this, and you're like, holy shit, I was gonna say Lies.
Yeah.
Well, please don't change. I'm glad you didn't change it.
I thought about it.
For the sake.
Like,
no, that's great. And I don't think we'll ever have this happen again. Like, in a month from now, we're not gonna both say like an Iron Maiden album. We're not gonna both say a different Prince album. I think today this is a rarity.
A quick note before we end.
Oh.
Did you actually listen to the Jimi Hendrix album yet?
No.
Neither have I.
Okay, awesome. Was that your quick note?
Yeah, because I saw it pop up over here, but I did save it to my list, and I was like, I have to listen to it, and I have not sat down and listened to it yet.
I haven't. It's been a little busy.
Yeah.
But I don't have time for new music, even if it's an old band.
I've heard mixed reviews on it, though, so. 50% said should have stayed where it was, and the other like, it's so awesome.
You know what? Like the Doors. Like if a Doors album came out right now, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not in for any old.
There's a reason why they chose not to release that.
Yeah. But this one, I don't think he really had a choice. Like he died early.
Oh, was that what the story is?
Well, I mean, Jimmy died way ahead of his time.
Well, yeah, but
this was stuff that was once recorded,
slated to come out.
It was recorded by Eddie Kramer in the studio, as people record stuff all the time. Like, hey, you're in town, come in here, we'll do a couple of things. And he would bring in whatever musician was there that wanted to play, which is why I heard, like, there's a grab bag of musicians playing with him on this album.
Oh.
Because it was like, hey, I'm in town, who else is here? Hey, well, let's get that guy, see if he wants to do something. Why don't you come in and jam? And they recorded everything and then mixed it into songs. I did recommend it, so I probably owe this show, and even myself and you, to listen to it.
Probably.
So I'll do that. That'll be my homework. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to see how I can turn our audio into video and chop it up into YouTube videos.
All right. Now, before we go away, we have to remind everybody, if you want to keep listening to us or even argue with us, you're going to have to like, rate, and subscribe on iTunes. And you know what? You can go argue with us on Facebook. There's nothing I love more than a good argument.
Oh, hey, I have to yell at my producer. Is that supposed to say iTunes?
No.
Like, rate, and subscribe, and interact on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I forgot to write.
How do you rate something on Facebook? Is that
right
an
here,
iTunes
see?
thing?
I fixed it at the end.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So you were talking about iTunes.
Yes.
That's why you looked at me like I was a jackass when I read that earlier. That's what I get for reading your stuff unproofed.
Well, do you see how terrible this is?
No, this is awesome. I want more of these.
Yeah,
this is essentially, you've turned the list show into something of professionalism.
I know, but do you like the font and the spacing too?
It should be bigger. I want more pages with less words. I want bigger and bigger.
And more transcontinental.
Oh, please. I'm going to make you do that every day. I want the transcontinental message of the week. Very good. I like it. I like it, sir.
All right.
All right, Dave. I'm out.
All right. Stay golden, everyone.